The collapse is upon us, and the reaping has begun. A wall that kept you from seeing his truth.
You don't know her. How she digs inside your head.
If Joseph Seed is the father and John is the lawyer, then Fate Seed is the, well, she's the reason I can't look at a flower shop without checking my peripheral vision for hallucinated bears. She's the herald of the Henbane River, the goddess of the Bliss, and the only person in Montana who can make a drug-induced kidnapping feel like a first date.
That I poison people's minds.
But behind the glowing skin and the floating butterflies, Fate is easily the most tragic and arguably the most manipulative member of the family. Today we're breaking down the lore of Fate Seed. We're looking at why she's actually a replaceable product, the dark truth of the angels, and why her I can fix her energy is one-way ticket to a lobotomy.
But you were just so selfish. You forced someone to leave that didn't want to go.
First thing you need to know, Fate isn't a person, it's a corporate branding strategy. If you poke around the lore notes in the game, you'll realize this. Fate is actually a girl named Rachel Jessop. She wasn't born a seed, like I mentioned in my actual previous video. She was actually adopted in the family. Thought John, Jacob, and Faith are like, well, Faith is like not the actual Sid, like it wasn't part of the family. They're not bonded, with blood with her and Joseph. She was just found and she was just added within the family. Her story is she was a runaway with a history of drug abuse and zero self-esteem, which in Cold World is basically a starter kit for recruitment. But here's the creepy part. She's the third girl in the play role. The first Fate failed Joseph. The second Fate reportedly ran away, or she was actually disposed of. Rachel was simply the one who lasted the longest because she was the best at lying, mostly to herself.
There once was a young woman who had been ostracized by her community, bullied by friends, abused by her family. She took to a needle for help. She was all alone. She wanted to die. And then she met the father.
Joseph didn't save her. He deleted her personality and uploaded a Fate exe file into her brain. Fate's entire region is powered by the Bliss. Now in the gameplay terms, the Bliss is just a green screen filter that makes things sparkly. But in the lore, it's a chemical horror show. The Bliss is a neurochemical cocktail extracted from white flowers that makes people see what they want to see. It's the ultimate ignorance is bliss pun taken way out of proportion. Fate's job is to manage the angels. To us, they look like twitching, brain-dead zombies who take 10 shotgun blasts in the chest and keep coming. But to them, thanks to the Bliss, they think they're in a beautiful middle, doing God's work in a nice, beautiful paradise. She isn't just a drug dealer, she's the PR department of the lobotomy factory. Every time Fate pulls you into the cutscene, usually while you're in the middle of something important like driving a tractor off a cliff or just doing something.
Oh God, not like this.
Need a medic!
She's doing the Siren routine. She floats and she whispers. She talks about how Joseph saw the light in her. But watch her hands. She is constantly blowing Bliss dust in your face. She isn't just talking, she's gaslighting. She tells you she was a victim of a cruel world to get you to lower your guard. It's a classic manipulation tactic. I'm hurt, you're hurt, so let's be hurt together in this magical drug cloud.
It's a trap!
When she convinces Marshall Berg to walk into the water, she isn't using logic. She's using the Bliss to override his survival instincts with a false sense of peace. It's the most toxic relationship in gaming history. The most unsettling part of Fate lore comes during the boss fight. Out of all like Far Cry gaming history, like her boss fight is one of my actual personal favorite. And I would like to actually mention how this boss fight is actually one of my favorite boss fights in the whole actual series itself. Like, it's very, very beautiful, and it was beautifully crafted, and the developers did a really good job, and also in the gameplay aspects itself. Like, it really feels like God of War when you're fighting Zeus in the last boss fight and you're just mash buttoning everything. It just makes things a whole lot of interesting. The fight itself is a trip. Fate doesn't run, she levitates. She's floating around the arena, chunking glowing Bliss projectiles at you like you're playing a bullet hell shooter. You're dodging these while trying to pick her off from a distance. Actual pro tip, what I realized while I was actually doing this boss fight, it's really easy when you just move around a lot, because Fate just pops in out of nowhere. Each time her health bar keeps decreasing, she changes strategies every single time. So if you stand still for even a second, those Bliss ops will just wreck you up. Just when you think you got a bit on her, she busts out some clones, man, and suddenly 6 of her, and they're all shooting. The trick, look at the leaves. I actually didn't notice this, and I'm pretty sure it's really hard for this to get noticed by anyone during the gameplay, because you're more focused on shooting at Fate and trying to like decrease that health bar as much as you can instead of looking at what leaves are they. But the trick is, the real Fate is surrounded by swirling red petals, while the fakes have the whites. Blast the wrong ones and she just laughs and teleports. It's a frantic game of Where's Waldo, where Waldo has a magical SMG.
Shoot, now look, it's like a Where's Waldo page. Can you find me?
As her health bar drops, she starts summoning angels, those Bliss brainwashed cultists who just run at you like zombies, and it gets crowded fast while she keeps shooting projectiles at you either. Like, it just gets very chaotic, and that's the whole chaotic thing that I mentioned a bit earlier. And you're juggling, reloading, punching angels, and trying to find the real Fate through the thick green fog. It's chaotic, it's beautiful, and it's mostly visually stunning boss fight in the entire series. The ending of Fate is a gut punch. In her final moments, Fate drops the scripts Joseph gave her. She reveals her backstory. She was a vulnerable, drug-out teenager named Rachel Jessop, who was saved and then renamed by Joseph as Fate.
He plied me with drugs. He threatened me. I was 17. I was just a child.
Oh, now you're playing victim. Don't play victim now.
Her death confirms Fate is actually a title, not a person. She is merely the latest in the long line of the fates that Joseph has used and discarded. And each time, her health bar keeps dropping, you keep hearing a bunch of truth bombs that she keeps dropping at you while you're busy trying to defeat her. And her final words, like in the final cutscene as you defeat her, she actually tells the deputy that he was right. The path you're on, you're the one to prove him right. This is the game's way of telling you that your heroic actions are playing directly into Joseph's Great Tribulation prophecy. By killing her, you aren't just the liberator, you are the lamb, opening the seals of the apocalypse. And she dies by walking into the water and sinking. This mirrors her introduction, where she walks on water to meet you. It signifies her return to reality. Water is pure, while the bliss was artificial. Her sinking represents the weight of her sins and the fact that, unlike Joseph, she has no actual ascension waiting for her. And the craziest part is when the bliss clears, she's just floating there. You realize you didn't just kill a monster, you killed a prisoner. Joseph didn't lose an ally, he just lost a puppet he was already planning to replace. The tragedy is that she's likely telling the truth. She is a victim who became a monster to survive. She's so addicted to the bliss that she literally can't exist on the solid ground anymore. She has to float because reality is too heavy for her to carry. And maybe that's why you actually fight her in this bliss world instead of fighting her in the real world, like the other boss fights, like how you defeat John and Jacob. Like, you actually defeat them in the real world instead of in a nice, blissful boss fight, because she's represented as a drug in this game. Fate is a warning She's what happens when you let a cult leader define your worth. She wanted to bring everyone into a dream because her reality was a nightmare. So next time you're in a Henbane and you see a floating lady in a white dress, maybe just hold your breath, and for the love of everything, stay out of the flowers. Anyway, man, that is my video on Fate. Thank you for watching, my little videos. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you ever been jumped scared by the Bliss hallucination of a Wolverine, tell me your trauma in the comments. I don't know how many times, man, I've been freaked out. But the one thing I actually found in the game, maybe like the second time I actually played it, if you're actually in Fate's territory, it's one of the most lucrative regions out of all the games, because those jump scares, those animals just pop out of the blue in front of you. You can actually kill them and sell their skin. Like, it's easy to actually make more money with animal skins, especially the ones that just pop out of nowhere. Anyway, man, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, man. Share my videos, or Joseph might send you to the atonement center. Oh hell no! For me, Max, and Screen TV Magic,
I will see you when I see you.
And you will die by the sword.
Hey!
It's not my fault.
Where she's at?
None
Where
of
she's
this
at?
was my fault. You think I wanted this? He plied me with drugs. He threatened me. I was 17. I was just a child.
Oh, now you're playing victim. Don't play victim now.